Good morning, friends. This morning session is dedicated to class 10. The lesson Madam Rides the Bus. This is a very interesting story about an 8-year-old girl, Valley, who is deeply interested in riding a bus. The girl, Valley, has a favorite pastime. She stands in front of her doorway and looks outside the street, and every day she watches the bus that is carrying the passenger from her village to the nearest town. She is deeply interested and makes an observation of everything. She is very much fascinated to see every time the new passengers boarding the bus and going to the town. She listens to the conversation between her neighbors and the people who travel by the bus and gathered all minute information about the journey, that how many minutes it took to reach the town, and what was the fare one way, and all this information she gathered from the neighbors who talked to the passengers who really traveled. Every time whenever she stood at the in front of her doorway and looked outside, she got fascinated to see the bus, flying on the road and going towards the destination, the nearest town. Every time she was curious to know everything about that. Her strongest desire was to ride the bus one day, and for that she sacrificed a lot of things. She didn't even buy the sweets and ice cream. She didn't go to the fair to have a merry-go-round. She sacrificed all her desire and gathered, you know, that amount, 60 pies. That was the total cost of the journey, one way and the other. And that is how she gathered all the information, and she was able to, know everything, all the minute details of that. The day, when she rode to the town, she was excited. She sat in the bus. There were only 5 to 6 passengers there. The bus conductor was a happy, jolly man, and he addressed her, Madam. He, offered her to sit in front, just in the front seat, and that is how she enjoyed, traveling. When she reached the town, she didn't get down from the bus. Even if the conductor asked her to get down, she said no. She would return from the same bus, and that is why she had been sitting. She didn't get down just because she knew it very well that if she got down, she will have to spend money on other things, and that is not possible. So that is how the girl, on the way, to the town, she saw a cow on the road, and that cow was just wandering towards the bus. And while she was returning, she saw the same cow lying dead, and that sight really made her sad. And now after that, she didn't look outside the window. So this is how the girl, this 8-year-old girl, enjoyed, the journey to the bus ride, and she fulfilled her desire. The question is that what was Valley's favorite pastime? Valley's favorite pastime was standing in front of the doorway of her house and looking at the street outside, because she had no playmate of her age. And the last question, what was the source of unending joy for Valley? What was her strongest desire? The sight of the bus that traveled from her village to the nearest town was the most interesting sight that she enjoyed. It gave her an unending joy. The bus always went from the village to the nearest town. That was the sight of the bus flying over the road from her village to the nearest town was the strongest, was the most attractive sight, and that was an unending joy for Valley. Her strongest desire was to ride the bus one day, and that is how she planned to ride the bus one day, and she fulfilled her desire. That is all about this story. Thank you. Have a nice day ahead.